Hey there, it's Sunil here, and I know it's been a while since I uploaded a video on this channel, and yeah, man, I finally mustered up the courage to upload a video, right? And I want to call this series of videos that I'll be posting from now on as Meditations of an Entrepreneur. See, I got inspired by Marcus Aurelius, and I thought I would name this series as Meditations of an Entrepreneur. Basically, me just journaling and ranting about my daily thoughts, just so that, everything is structured. I can analyze myself every day. Yeah, man, I think it will be beneficial. I got nobody else to rant about my life too. So I thought, why not just rant about it on a video? So yeah, it's 3:34 a.m. in the morning. Let's do it. So yeah, man, journaling once again is a powerful habit, right? I've been on and off about this thing, but yeah, this is super powerful. And honestly, to give you a life update, right, a lot of shit has happened in my life, and a really major canon event, as I'd like to call it, right? A lot of people call it canon event. Basically, a canon event is this happens in every man's life, right? May that be when they're young or old or whatever the fuck, right? It usually happens when you're young, right? This canon event forces you to reconsider your entire life. You'll be like, fuck, is this how life is? Oh shit, this is how life is really. Oh, that's how things work, huh? Damn. Shit like that happens in your life, man. Sometimes it just gives you a fucking punch in your teeth, in your fucking face, breaks all your teeth, destroys you completely while trying to teach you a lesson. Sometimes, it can be a little bit easier on you, but yeah, you learn from other people sometimes, which is good, but sometimes it just punches you right in the fucking teeth. Yeah, something like that happened recently to me, and yeah, man, made me realize that I'm honestly a fucked up individual, right? I have a lot of shit that I need to sort out in my life if I ever want to live a decent, good life, right? The life of my dreams, right? Forget that. If I even want to live a decent fucking life, a good life that, when I look back after 20 years or 50 years, did I live a good life? Did I do what I wanted to do in my life? Well, in order to do that, I gotta, I gotta solve all those fuck ups, right? I gotta solve all that shit that's holding me back. And maybe you need to do that as well, because there are a lot of beliefs, a lot of actions that are holding us back. It starts with thoughts, and then it transforms into beliefs, and then it transforms into actions. And those actions can either block us, impede us, or it can also propel us into success. Impede impede is the right word. Delay or prevent something. Yeah, I gotta be sure about this shit, man. Okay, getting back to the message at hand. Well, how the fuck do you, unfuck your life? Basically, that's what this video is going to be about. Video 1 of the series is going to be how to unfuck your life. So, and I don't plan on having a super, structured video series. Yeah, these are just going to be rants at the end of the day, right? I'm just going to be, talking to you about my life, what's going on in my life on a day-to-day basis. Maybe there are some lessons that you can take from it. Maybe there ain't any. You know, maybe you learn what to do in life, or maybe you learn what not to do in life as well. It's as simple as that. So, journaling, man, if you can start journaling on a pen and paper, in a notebook, shit, your life will automatically start improving because you're forced to think about every single action that you did, every day. Right? Because a lot of people, why they tend to fuck up is because they tend to live on autopilot mostly. Autopilot meaning they have some sort of routine. Right? This routine, it may not be productive. So since they are in that unproductive routine every single day, those actions compound and it keeps increasing how fucked up their life is. At least that's what happened to me. So, how do you unfuck your life? You start journaling, you start rewinding the tape, revisiting every single thing that you did. You gotta play back the tape, man, like all these athletes do. You gotta look at the footage. You gotta see, okay, what did I do? What are the different actions that I took? It starts like this. It starts with, do I like the situation that I'm in right now? If yes, okay, what are the things that I'm doing are enabling me to have this good positive situation? Well, you write those down and then you just keep doing them every single day. Double down on them. Your life will continue to improve. If not, then ask yourself, what are the actions that are fucking up my life, that have led to this fucked up situation? And then you start analyzing, okay, I did this, I handled this situation like this, I handled this particular event like this, that's why I'm in this fucking situation. So, a lot of us tend to live in loops, right? We are like rubber bands in a sense, because if you go beyond your comfort zone, you're like a rubber band once again, right? You're being stretched. And when you're outside, when you're stretched too much, boom, you're back to that low point, which is something that you consciously do not want, but your subconscious is comfortable with that. So first thing you need to do is find that loop. What the fuck is the loop? For me, what it was, I'm going to be exposing myself so that you guys can learn a lesson out of it. So, yeah. Let's look at it. So, my biggest problem is that I'm fucking broke. I'm dead ass broke. That kind of stuff, right? So, why is that happening? It's because income is not enough. Because of the income being not enough, I'm unable to save, and I'm in a fucked up situation. Why is this situation even happening? Well, it's because I tend to get a good job or a good gig or a good role or a good project. I tend to fuck that up by being complacent as fuck, I tend to become complacent at some point. Somehow I manage to fuck it up. Because of that, the income is not enough, and because of that, it leads to unstable income again and financial crunches. you're scrambling to pay the bills. So if you have a little bit of savings, sometimes yeah, I do have that, and then boom, somehow I'm saved. If not, usually this is what happens. I have to take on debt to pay the bills, and then suddenly, I get this strange business entrepreneurial vision, and then I'm like, I can build a business. Man, you've been fucking up projects. How the fuck do you expect to build a business? That thought doesn't come to me at all. And then I take debt money, I take even more debt. Right? That's how stupid I am. I have been so far. To build a business, right? With that debt money, I've been stupid as fuck. I told you, right? And then what happens is, boom, the plan doesn't work. I take too much debt. The business doesn't grow as expected because the plan is not executed properly. That stacks into more, that debt, right? That stacks into more EMIs and monthly payments, which increases my bills. And again, that leads to the income not being enough, right? So you're compounding the fucked up situation, right? This is like compound interest. The actions compound, and life becomes more and more and more fucked up. You are the architect of your life. See? Except it's a horrible building that I'm living in. Yeah, I just gotta fix that. I am fixing it actually. The reason why I made this video was because, I started journaling. And then on Monday, because of this canon event that happened in my life, I realized it finally hit my fucking brain. It was like, you know what, man, if you don't do anything right now, if you don't do something right now, man, you're gonna go back to your past. And the past is something that I don't wanna go back to. That situation, fuck no. I ain't going back. It would be like going back to the hood. After, you got out of the hood, you've been living a good life for 5 years, and then now you're like, because of the things that you've been doing and because of how fucked up you lived your life, you gotta now go back to the hood because you did broke. That's the best way I can describe it, right? So yeah. So yeah, man. First step is to identify these loops. Journaling helps a lot with it. Rewind your entire fucking life. See what you did, right? What I did was like from 15 to 21, I went through I recall every single fucking thing I did, every single fucking thing I went through. What are the actions that were in my control? What are the actions that were not in my control? I just wrote them all down. I wrote my entire story down. Help me get a better grasp of my life, right? You gotta do this work at some point in your life, or else you're not going to unfuck your life. So, with that being said, what you do next is you gotta figure out why you're being lazy and complacent in the first place. At least I have to do that. And typically, why that happens is because you've absorbed and built some type of negative self-belief and limiting beliefs that are making you go through this, loop, this laziness and this complacency. For a lot of people, including myself, what they tend to do is they tend to emulate their parents, their friends, people close to them, right? They tend to emulate those people. And people like me have not had good role models to look up to, at least when I was really young. That except my mother, everybody was usually a fuck up, sadly. In my family at least, right? Except my mother and my younger brother. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I'm not ashamed to tell it. I'm sad, but I'm not ashamed. So, I absorbed it somehow. I think I absorbed it somehow into my brain subconsciously without knowing it. You tend to do that, and that has just manifested in my life, right? So yeah, I mean, it's sad, but I gotta work through it. And you're going to see me work through it day by day, step by step, right? Because that's the only way you can do this. David Goggins did it that way. Well, I think so at least. I read his book. I read it. I read that book when I was 15. Can't hurt me, man. Those first few pages when he was going through his early childhood, right? It felt like I was reliving my own life. Like did that motherfucker put a camera in my room or something? And he put a camera in my house and he started. Did he watch my own life? Did he watch my last few years of life? That's how I felt. Damn, bro. So that's how it was. And that book gave me a lot of inspiration because that guy had it 100x worse than me, right? David had it 100x worse than me, right? Having a gun pointed at you in your childhood, bro, that shit traumatizes you, man. He must have had tremendous strength. He has tremendous strength, mental strength, to overcome all that. Frankly, bro, that guy's a huge inspiration to me. And yeah, when I recall that, it gives me hope. Like, if he could do it, why not me? So that's why, man. That's how you start unfucking your life. You do that by rewinding the tape, analyzing all your actions, analyzing the loop that you're in, and then you start taking the actions that are required to break that loop. Journaling is a good start. Bro. So, okay. I decided to just lock the fuck in from Monday to give you an update on my life. And then I started working on my business once again. Right? Because I know I can make money with this business. I've done it before in the past. So why not just stick to what you know? Right? I'm trying to get employment as well. So that I can finally start unfucking my life once and all. Right? So this week I was prospecting. I started small, right? Because you gotta start small. If you try to do it all at once, you're gonna overwhelm yourself, and your brain is just going to shut down. You're not going to do anything at the end of the day. Start small. Start stacking small wins, and then you keep compounding those wins. Right? You keep compounding those wins, and your trajectory will start going upwards. So I started prospecting. I got a few meetings. All of them were with like my ideal client profile, but yeah, let me give you a breakdown on those. One was really good, right? Thinking about, I'm still waiting on the next steps. I'm still waiting to hear back from him. Two, I had the guy who was just trying to get the lowest offer possible, and he was just trying to, he was basically window shopping. And also, it was my first sales call in a while, so I also may have fucked it up by not presenting my case, or not presenting my case strongly enough. I don't know how else to put it. The last one, which was the meeting I had today, well, it was almost a signed deal, but I don't know, the prospect was not at all trusting, and he didn't want to do it. First, we agreed to a monthly retainer, which I was like, which was in itself very low. And then the dude is like, I'll do weekly payments. Okay, fine, whatever. I need cash flow. Okay, bro, let's do it. And then, boom, right? And he was like, nah, I still don't trust you because I don't have a website. He was like, nah, I still don't trust you. I don't see enough to trust you. Like, what else do you want? Like, I literally showed you some campaigns that we ran in the past. I showed you the live dashboard. I showed you how we can get results for you. Broke down the math, everything in the proposal. I gave you pointers immediately, action steps that you can immediately, put into action, campaign ideas. Like, what else do you want? Is my thought process? I may be wrong. Who knows? But yeah, this client, I know for a fact that this client will be a pain in the ass if I worked with, right? Because these guys, bro, no, don't do it, right? So yeah, it was almost a closed deal, but I was almost about to collect cash. It was supposed to be a cash collected, but well, shit happens. Yeah, that's how things could be. Um, so the lesson here when it comes to unfucking your life is that you need to start small. You need to look at the tape, analyze all your actions, analyze what are the things that are holding you back, analyze the limiting beliefs, find the limiting beliefs out some fucking how. Go to a therapist if you need to, go to a mindset coach if you need to, do it some fucking how. Or else you're going to be that rubber band, You struggle and you somehow stretch yourself, you get out of that fucking retarded situation you're in, and then boom, a few months later you're back in the gutter. You're back to bottom. You're back to the fucking pit, rock bottom, right? That if you do that repeatedly, that's going to erode your self-confidence, and it's going to put you down in a much worse spot, right? It's not at all a good feeling. It's not at all a good position to be in. So yeah, man, I hope this video was useful. I hope you learned something out of it. And yeah, this week was really productive. It's finally starting to build some traction. We just need to do more inputs, inbound the content that we're posting as well. It's generating leads. So yeah, one out of those 3 meetings came from inbound. So yeah, the one that almost turned into a deal, that was an inbound lead. I'm very, very thankful, right? Of course, I'm very scared every single day. These emotions are natural, right? I'm facing fear, anxiety, anger, sadness, pain, all in one mix every single day. But I do know one thing. I trust God. I know God will get me out of this situation. I pray every single day that He will improve my life. I know He will. I know He has always saved me in my time of need. Thank God for the life. I'm grateful for every single thing that I've had in my life. I just want to get out of here, man. I just want to live the life that I've always wanted to. Years are flying by, and yeah, I don't want to be 30 and then look back and then be like, fuck, I could have been so much more. What if I'm 70? What if I'm I don't know, 80, man. I'm like, shit, I could have been somebody. But, you know, I chose to be a pussy. And I chose to not take the required actions to, unfuck my life and improve it. If I had only, if I had only done that, if I had only done that, if I say some shit like that, bruh, that'll be a sad ending to my story. I don't want that. I don't want that. God, I want a great story. I want a great life. Yeah, I hope you learned something out of this, bro. And I'll see you in the next one.